Evening tubers, KingGrimlock back once again for another Grimgram, and first off, as ever, a little bit of housekeeping. This will be a continuation of my countdown to my countdown to AA viewers request session. Seriously, one of these times I'm going to get it right. It's not that long to AA. I cannot get this wrong. Well, it is actually. It's like 3 weeks to AA, 4 weeks to AA, but you know, in time, yeah. I hate doing videos in advance. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I get confused. My tiny little brain can't cope. Anyway, as this is a continuation, this one goes out to the Zizzler Rizzle 8707. Linky, linky, linky. And to SMS number 1, linky, linky, linky. And this is Binaltech Hound. They'd actually asked for Alternator's Hound, but I don't have Alternator's Hound. I only have the Binaltech version, which is the big, heavy Mamba Jamba. All top heavy, nothing in the back. Guess what problems that makes? Now, this is my first Alternators review, and as I'm such a massive... Alternators, my first of that era section review. And as I'm such a massive fan, I thought I'd have done something by now, but they are such a pain in the backside to transform. And do reviews of, really, that I've kind of put it off as long as possible. They are fantastic toys. I adore the alternators and the Binaltech collection, but you know what, they are a pain. Let's have a look over. He is a Jeep Wrangler Sport 4.0 litre. He is a massive Jeep, and he is accurate. He's as accurate as you're going to get a Transformer to be, really, to the original car. He has opening doors, which kind of pointless with, you know, no roof, no windows, but he does have reflective wing mirrors that do actually kind of work as mirrors. He has 4 seats, a steering wheel, gear shift. I mean, I'm not sure how well we can see inside there. Probably better from the top. Yeah, something like that. You know, highly detailed interior and exterior, and, you know, it does transform into a robot. Underneath the bonnet, which does flip up, we have his engine. Which is really nice detailing. That can fold down too. He has windscreen wipers. You know, around the back he has the spare wheel, quite iconic spare wheel. All of the lights are actually well, plastic. They're paste lights, all clear. All the indicators are in there. Number plate and the is just the Autobot symbol. Some of them actually have the alternators and stuff have number plates that read, you know, their name or whatever, which is quite a nice touch. On the underside, he is fairly kibble free. You can make out the hands there. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work those out. And the legs. But why do I like these guys? Well, more than anything, it's just the amount of effort and detail that went into making each one look accurate, and the fact that they then, in turn, look accurate to their Generation 1 counterparts. They do look like completely updated figures. They are just a bit heavy, for the Binaltech anyway, to be really posable. They are too complicated in their transformation to be a real plaything. They are collectibles, quote unquote. And you don't get amusement out of these in the same way as you do out of the classics line or anything like that. You do just get a nice figure on your shelf. I mean, this guy has got active suspension. You know, that's fairly impressive, especially when you look at what that's actually attached to. That wheel is attached to nothing other than the bit of plastic it's on, and that's got an active suspension. You know, nothing there. On the back, it's attached to that panel. There his feet. That panel. Active suspension. The amount of work that must have gone into doing these things, I'm going to bloody staple that down in a minute. The amount of work that must have gone into designing this to make it work as both a car and, you know, as an official car, a licensed product, as well as a Transformer, must have been phenomenal. You know, petrol cap, for flip's sake. Would have been nice if there'd have been a bit more sculpted detail inside there. But on the outside, the exterior, and obviously the interior of the actual car is near on perfect. Let's take a look at Hound in his robot mode. So we have Hound in his robot mode. Now, I'm going to really struggle to make this guy stand up, because, and this is a flaw with the Binaltechs really over the alternator. The alternators actually have in as a bonus over the Binaltech is that the Binaltechs, especially when they're the Jeep design, have nearly all of their die-cast metal in the front, which is, of course, the chest area and the arms. So Getting him to stand is somewhat difficult. Combine that with weak hip joints that I'm yet to fix, and he's nigh on impossible. There we go. Stay. So we have Hound in his robot mode. Now, I think you'll be, I'm fair in saying this is a pretty good representation of Hound. It's a pretty good updated representation of it. It's also highly detailed and would be massively posable if it wasn't for this stupid amount of metal in the front of him. I know, I'm complaining about die-cast. Go figure. I'm going to have to be really careful here. His transformation is very simple, especially for an alternator. It's very simple. It is just basically folding parts down and around. The entire leg section sort of flips around, and that's about it really. The arms pop out, and there's your engine block. And then the rear, which is all the seating here, this is kibble. I'm never going to defend that. That's kibble. Does all fold up quite nicely though. You know what? I adore the alternators line. This is why I collect Transformers. I started again. I'm actually going to, when I finish up doing all these reviews, my last one of my alternators reviews is actually the first Transformer I ever bought. Again, if you know what I mean. So we're going to go back to that, which will be a nice finish. And it's the alternators that got me back in. I got these guys before the classics were released and before Universe was released. So, and to me, this is a much better Hound than the Universe Hound. It's bulkier, it looks more like Hound. The head sculpt is amazingly good, it's amazingly detailed, it's got so much character to it. And this natural real-world setting with these, slightly cartoony faces works really well. The style of it, I don't know, there's something about the style of it that makes you actually sit there and think, you know what, this could have worked in the movies. This could have worked because it looks like a real Jeep. It is a real Jeep. It is a die-cast toy Jeep based on the Wrangler that is then transformed into a giant robot. Maybe that bit's not as realistic, but it works. Things work with it. There are things wrong with it, as I say, toy-wise. There are very many things wrong with it, but it works very well as an aesthetic. I mean, I find it very difficult to defend these because I know a lot of people don't like the alternators, and I can kind of appreciate why. They are overly complicated for what they are. You don't get that much for your money. I mean, they retailed at 20 quid each, which was just above Voyager price at the time, or maybe equal to Voyager price at the time, and they are slightly smaller than Voyagers. But you do get a very good toy. There is a lot to him. I really, really want to show you bits, but I'm dreading moving him because I don't think he'll ever come back together again. You do have these gap sections, and you do have these problems. Everything's very tidy around the back of the legs anyway, and he's lost his gun. See, this is where the problem's going to start happening, people. So I will probably... Oh, yeah, the gun. Oh, all Outnotters had hidden... And Binaltech had hidden weapons. His is kept in his spare wheel. If I can... I didn't want to try and undo... I'm not going to, because he'll just topple right over with these stupid hip joints. I can't let him go. He's going. Can I? Woo! There we go, guys. Binaltech Hound. I can't recommend these highly enough. That said, if anybody gets in my way trying to get Swerve, I will kill you.